And breath is normally dark. Yes, dark. Because the reflection that you see in this world, which is very bright, is only a reflection. The identity that you believe in yourself is only a lighted up reflection. But when you shine your own light, you cannot see your own light. That's why it's called dark. And that darkness, most of us are afraid to enter, and so we'll never know how to be our true self. The very strange thing about the whole thing is that our true self does not have a name. Our true self is only identified by being our true self. That's a very funny thing about our true self. That's why God said, I am that I am. That is my name forever. You can't call God with a particular name, because if you do that, you're just inventing God. Neither can we actually call God by saying He's a loving God, He's a just God, He's a beautiful God. We cannot do that too, because you're then painting God. You're also doing the wrong thing. And as long as we paint God, we cannot find the true one. Cannot, because we only paint whatever that is found in the register, the name of God. But the true name of God is another name. It's simply I am that I am. And where is I am? Obviously, yeah, in the first person. What's my dream tonight? Now, in front of me is a prison, but I'm not in the prison as yet. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling my friend that I think I had some problems, and they wanted to report me into the prison. I think I have to report, because if I don't report, that might become more serious, so I better report. But then my friend told me, no, this must be a mistake or something like that. I said, I don't know, but whatever it is, I better report. But what you can do, I told my friend, is that tomorrow you look out for me. If I'm not around, you should ask for me, and maybe they will check, and perhaps they will release me. So what happened is that I went into the prison. I reported. And so because I reported, and I'm not sure whether I should have reported or not, but then to avoid trouble, I just report. It's our fear. So I reported. So they did all the routine to check on me. And by the way, this is a foreign prison, and I don't even know how to speak their language. So when I went into the prison and undergo the routine, I don't know what to speak, what to say. They just simply stripped me, measured me, my limbs, etc., cut off my hairs or whatever they're doing. It's part of the routine, but I couldn't say anything because I don't know how to speak their language. All I know is that I got into some kind of trouble and I had to report. And so upon reporting, they did all this. And what happened next, I won't know. They placed me into a shared cell with others, and I just look around and nobody could identify me because I couldn't identify myself with them since I couldn't speak their language. So I just waited and hoping that tomorrow something will happen and they will just release me. Or when would they ever release me? So what happened is that my friend was asking for me the next day. He asked the prison authority, David Chiu, but they don't know who is David Chiu. their prison records doesn't show a David Chiu. And I was inside, but I was asking for the date in which I would be released, but they have no records of my name. So how would I ever be released? They have no records of me. And while inside the prison, they put me on a foot drill. It was a kind of a mental reprogramming. And soon enough, I just simply followed the routine of the prison. And with the routine, I don't even have the guts to say that I want to be released, because I just simply followed the routine. My mind had been reprogrammed. Gosh. And this is a foreign prison, and they forgot to take my name. Even if they identified me, they couldn't hear my name because they couldn't understand what I was talking about. But perhaps they got my name, but it was a different name. It was a foreign name. I know myself in a different name. Wow. So I was inside there, I couldn't find my way out because they couldn't identify me. But what is worse is that because of the mental programming that's taking place in the prison, I don't even know that I need to get out of the place. I didn't even know that there is a need for a release. Gosh. So I just continued with the routine. This friend of mine, he was outside the prison, and so he asked one guy inside, "Can you identify my friend?" And this guy is actually a commandant of the prison. He has seen me before. Okay, so he was in a position to identify me. But unfortunately, I had changed. While in the prison, they changed my clothing, removed my dentures, so to speak. Everything has been changed. So the commandant himself couldn't identify me. So he couldn't identify me. He went out to my friend and he told my friend, "I don't think your friend is inside here. He's not inside." And so my friend couldn't find me. But most interesting of all, I couldn't find my way out. And the reason is because they don't know my name. My friend outside couldn't identify who I am because they don't know my name inside the prison. And the prison didn't take my name. They simply removed everything of me, changed everything of me, measured me, but they never took my name. Or they didn't identify my name. So that's the dream. The worst part of it is that I myself don't have an idea that I need to be released from the prison. The reprogramming that's taken place in our life has made us lose our identity. We forget that we are in the prison. Only the person outside of the prison will continue to know that there's a missing person. But the person inside couldn't identify himself. Even the commandant of the prison couldn't do that. Only the person who is outside still holds my name and still calls for me. But the problem is that no one in the prison understands the name that was being called. And so I was lost in the world. Who is the commandant in that dream? The commandant is me. But I couldn't identify myself. The reason is because I know myself as a David Chiu in this world, but my true name I don't know. I know of myself with the identities that I have defined myself in my relationship with others. I'm the commandant. I know of myself in this way, but there was no other identity that I know. Even the commandant of my life would not know my true name. And that's the funny thing about life. We go through life without knowing our true name. That's right. We create a name for ourselves. Our parents gave us the name, and we thought we are David Chiu. And we invented ourselves along the way of life. In our behaviors towards others, we invented the idea of who we are. And most of the time, what we do is when we paint ourselves, we make sure that we paint a good person. We refine ourselves. And how do we do that? We simply rationalize. If things go wrong our way, if we are not doing it correctly, what we did was we simply say, I didn't do it this way because the other guy did it this way. Or I didn't do it this way because this, I understand, is not logical. Whatever it is, we redefine ourselves. We paint a picture of ourselves, and we thought that our painting is successful. The problem is that we are in a prison, and we cannot find our way out of that prison because we have no name for that true person that we are. We look at the register, and the register is only saying David Chiu, but the true name of the person in prison is written in a foreign way, and I don't know their true name, do I? And that is the reason why when I share this video, I've always said that you must drop to the level of I am by dropping from thoughts to breath. That's not an easy thing, because you're going to learn a foreign language. Breath is like a foreign language. And we don't know how to even speak that language. And breath is normally dark. Yes, dark. Because the reflection that you see in this world, which is very bright, is only a reflection. The identity that you believe in yourself is only a lighted up reflection. But when you shine your own light, you cannot see your own light. That's why it's called dark. And that darkness, most of us are afraid to enter, and so we'll never know how to be our true self. The very strange thing about the whole thing is that our true self does not have a name. Our true self is only identified by being our true self. That's a very funny thing about our true self. That's why God said, I am that I am. That is my name forever. We can't call God with a particular name, because if you do that, you're just inventing God. Neither can we actually call God by saying He's a loving God, He's a just God, He's a beautiful God. We cannot do that too, because you're then painting God. You're also doing the wrong thing. And as long as we paint God, we cannot find the true one. Cannot, because we only paint whatever that is found in the register, the name of God. But the true name of God is another name. It's simply I am that I am. And where is I am? Obviously, in the first person. And in the dream, there is something very important here. It says that the person who is in the prison lost himself because of a certain reprogramming that is taking place in the prison. So he does not know how to release himself, neither does he know that he needs to release himself. He is completely in the prison of his own mind. And who is the person who actually knows the true name of the person in the prison? It's not a person inside the prison, but he's outside the prison. Wow, that's not an easy person to find, because you are in that prison. So how are you going to find that person who is not in the prison, who will know my name? That's the key secret of life itself. In the last video that I've had, I mentioned of a person called Elijah. An ordinary man, I would say, except that Elijah knows how to breathe the breath It actually blows life into another person. And because he's able to do that, he never died, in the sense that although he left this world, Elijah, but he left the world in a chariot of fire. He's fully aware of the living process. And how did it happen? Because Elijah is a person who is outside the prison. At the same time, he's also in the prison. Yes, he's fully aware of the I am who is outside. He's fully aware of himself, the breath, who is outside, that can breathe life. At the same time, he's inside the prison where the widow lives. And so he is able to blow life into that son of the widow. You see, the true person that you are, which is the I am, is always alive. It's just that you don't know that he's alive. So once you're able to know that he's alive, it's kind of awaken him into life. And that's what Elijah did. He awakened the I am of the widow's son. And to do that, Elijah had to do two things. Number one, he has to enter himself. He has to enter his own I am. Secondly, he has to enter into the space-time of the widow's son who is on the bed. Both. So the I am, there is only one, is awakened, and the I am enters into the space-time of the son, and thus enliven the son back to life. So what's the purpose of my life? The purpose of my life is to find me. Right? That's right. To open the door of the prison and to allow myself to go free. That's why Jesus made a very interesting statement. He said, if the Son will make you free, you shall be free indeed. Who is the Son? That's right. It's the I am, the Son of God. It's inside you. And only the I am inside you can make you free. But we can't awake the I am if we are still in the prison. So we have to separate ourselves. So we have to enter breath, and yet at the same time, in that breath, enlightening the space-time. Then we are fully aware of both space-time and the breath. And only in this way, you are in this world, but yet you're still out of the world. Only in this way have you accomplished the purpose of living. So there are some friends of mine who told me that I should remove all the thoughts. That means live in a zero-thought environment. I'll be happy. And then I will feel the presence, he said that. Well, I told him that's not possible, because you have to remain in thoughts, but at the same time be awakened to your own presence. Then you have discovered life.